Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about one of the most asked questions we get about hydrangeas, and it is, why isn't my hydrangea blooming? There are 5 main things that can contribute to why your hydrangea isn't blooming, but the first thing that you need to figure out is what kind of hydrangea you have. So if you haven't seen the video that we put together on how to ID your hydrangea, I would recommend that you watch that first. We'll put a link to that video in the comment section or the description below. The first thing is time. It can take some hydrangeas 2 to 5 years even to mature enough to produce blooms. So what I like to do when I go to the nursery to shop for a hydrangea, I either like to pick one out that already has blooms on it, or I'll pick out one that's bigger, in a bigger can, more mature size, and that way I know I don't have to wait as long. The second thing is light. They need a little bit more light than we think they do. It's a common misconception that hydrangeas are a full shade plant. They need between 4 to 6 hours of sunlight, preferably morning sun, in order to perform the best. The third thing is pruning, and it's really important to know what variety of hydrangea you have before you do any pruning or trimming on them. Some hydrangeas bloom on old wood and some bloom on new wood. So when I say a hydrangea blooms on old wood, that means that it's setting its flower buds for the current year on last year's wood. So if you're pruning anytime winter through spring, you're potentially cutting off this year's blooms. And when a hydrangea blooms on new wood, it means it's setting its flower buds for the current year right after it starts pushing growth in the spring. So you can prune those ones late winter to early spring, and you know you'll still get a fresh crop of blooms. The best thing to do is pick out a hydrangea that is the right size for the space that you have in your garden. They do not need to be pruned. They really are a low maintenance plant, a lot more low maintenance than we give them credit for. And rule of thumb, if you don't know what kind of hydrangea you have, just don't prune it. The fourth thing is animals. Now, you may not have made a mistake with your pruning, but if you live in an area that is just inundated with wildlife, especially deer, they may have come into your garden and done your pruning for you, and that's why you're not getting blooms on your hydrangea. So the best thing to do in an area like that is talk with your local nursery. There are deterrents you can put down. I don't live in an area where I deal with deer, luckily, so I'm not super up on how to keep the deer out, but if you live in an area that does have deer, your local nursery will know how to take care of it. The fifth thing is winter. If you have a hydrangea that blooms on old wood, you know that it's setting its flower buds for the next year on the past year's growth. So it's setting its buds late summer to early fall, and then they have to go through a whole winter and spring before those buds will bloom. So if you have a really tough winter, especially in spring, if you have a few unnaturally warm days and your plant starts to wake up and then you have another hard frost, that can damage the buds. So that's another thing that may cause your hydrangeas not to bloom. So those are the 5 main reasons why your hydrangea may not be blooming. If you'd like to do a little more research, I found this wonderful guide. I'll put the link in the comment section or description below. It really helped me out. I learned a lot from it, so I'd recommend you check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.